There is a comb in my beard. Greetings, humans. It is I, Lord Bael, here with another review. Today I'm going to talk about the new O Kingdom release, Glare. No, it's called Empires. So it's been a little bit since O Kingdom put out their last EP, Adama. In that time, they've gone through a couple different lineup changes. They've switched out their one vocalist for two vocalists now. I believe they also switched drummers since the release of Adama. Their overall sound hasn't really evolved much. It's just kind of shifted gears. We're still kind of getting this bouncy metalcore riffage, but interspersed in between those bouncy metalcore parts, we now have strumming sing-along choruses. So if you like strumming sing-along choruses, this is definitely going to be something good for you. If, however, you're not a fan of big strummy choruses, yeah, you might not find this release as good. But let's go ahead and break it down a little bit. My overall impression of the recording quality hasn't really changed. Everything still sounds about the same from a recording standpoint. They've done a good job of incorporating some more background production techniques, layering some vocals, adding a little bit of keyboard here and there. Just these little nuances that really kind of fill out the mix. Everything sounds pretty full. It's slightly muddy, but it's better than it being really tinny and robotic sounding. From an instrumental perspective, the guitar and bass work isn't any more pronounced than on previous releases. The drum performance, however, is much better. Not that the drums are particularly technical, but a lot of the fills just, are that next step above what was performed on Adama. Cody Ash is able to take the same drum patterns and break them down, do a little bit more variation on it, kind of do a little more improvisation around it, and embellish the drums. Vocally, the clean singing is handled very well. It doesn't sound too whiny. It's not over-processed. The aggressive vocals are pretty much carbon copies, though. The new vocalist just sounds like a more polished version of the last one. Nothing special, but not bad. The only real problem that I'm finding from a production standpoint comes in the guest vocal appearance by Garrett Rapp from The Color Morale. His vocals just sound over-processed, and they're just thin. They don't have any body to them, and they end up being really buried in the mix and kind of hard to distinguish. Honestly, I don't think the vocals add anything to the song. It's a part that really should have just been handled by Joey, the standard clean vocalist. Joey's performance on the record is way better than this Garrett guy's is anyway. While it's nice that they were able to get a performer from an established band to kind of elevate their status, it's a shame that it's not on par with what they're performing. From a writing standpoint, this release isn't really breaking any new territory. It's pretty formulaic. Most of the songs are a heavy part, chorus, heavy part again, chorus again, maybe a bridge, chorus. They don't really stray too far from that formula. And while some of those riffs are pretty catchy, none of them are so amazing that it makes any track a standout track. Despite the poor guest vocal performance, really the best track, or at least my favorite, was No King, No Home. I don't know, it had a key change at the end that was pretty nice. It might have been the ballad of the release, but hey, it was really good. The first single, Sisyphean, wasn't bad either. It's certainly an outlier of the songs featured on this release. It almost sounds like a 4 Year Strong song. I think that overall, this is a release that's showing a band that's kind of moving into a more accessible direction, not really expanding upon their sound, just shifting the direction of it. And while it's not a bad release, it just kind of dwells within mediocrity. I'm feeling about a 5.5. But really, how do you feel? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.